A couple of sheriffs who forgot to read their oath of office. Well, I join, hopefully this entire state of Arizona, to join with Sheriff Joe Arpaio, enforce our laws. Simply enforce our laws. I'm not asking for roundups. I'm not asking. In fact, this bill prohibits profiling. If you'd heard differently, I mean, it's because they haven't read the bill. Then again, they don't read their bills. Why should they read ours? They also don't read the Constitution. It's just a small book. You guys maybe have seen it. This little tiny book can probably do it in one evening. Apparently they haven't read that either, about their duty to God, country, and family. But anyway, let me tell you just a quick story as I end here. To show you how close things come to home when we talk about statistics. In 2004, I was back at the Brookings Institute in Washington, D.C., debating this very issue that we're talking about here today. And of course, they love the term immigration reform, comprehensive reform. We all know what that means, amnesty. And I was the only guy there debating simply attrition by enforcement, simply enforce our laws. No free stuff, no sanctuary cities, just simply enforce our laws, secure the border, all of that combined, not just one or the other. Anyway, while I stand at the podium, like I'm standing here speaking to you, literally at the podium, I was handed a note from my sweet wife who said, "Call home, you have an emergency, urgent." Now, my first thought is a grandchild, car accident, pool accident. But when I got off this podium and called home, she told me, she says, "Sean's been shot, critically injured, being air vac to hospital. I don't know how bad." So all the information I had. About an hour later, she got back with me. She says, "Russell, you're not going to believe this." And again, folks, I've been in this battle way before this happened. As you know, in fact, I was debating that issue at Brookings. She says it was an illegal alien with its matriculate card. Folks, already wanted on homicide charges, all involved in drug trafficking, apparently jobs Americans won't do. And I'm fortunate. My son's alive and with his beautiful family. In fact, he's with me this last week. But some aren't so fortunate. Now, we have our own homegrown bad guys, and we all know that. But we shouldn't be importing them. Enough is enough. I mean, what's coming across that border, and I had a hearing in the Senate this last year after Rob Krentz was murdered right during the debate of 1070 on the border. I had the ranchers come up from Sassabee to Douglas, the span of the border, to tell their story. One after the other, folks. This is 2010. You would think this was the 1800s. Their dog throats are cut, their animals are butchered, their fences are torn down, their water lines are destroyed, their families are threatened. One of them, 18 burglaries, 3 home invasions, 3 pickups stolen. Just one family. They board their doors. They board their windows like you'd see in a John Wayne movie. 2010, we're begging for secure on the border. Then you got a president that's willing to send 1,200 troops. 1,200? That's one, if you figure on shifts and weekends, that's one for every 10 to 15 to 20 miles. And of course, they're going to be in the welcome wagon position. No bullets in the guns, folks, please. Don't let them be soldiers. Don't let them really do their job. Pretty embarrassing if you ask me. We're sending another 30,000 to Afghanistan and Pakistan area. But we won't secure our own border. Americans are losing their lives. 30 million Americans out of work. I don't know what it takes, folks. But I, with you, will be vigilant until the problem is solved. They can do what they want. They can say what they want. I know my duty. I know my duty to my God. I know my duty to my country. I know my duty to your freedom and the rule of law. I want to thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for being here and enduring this heat. God bless you. May God continue to bless America. If we ever needed him, we need him today. Thank you very much.
Listen, we stood a long time in the sun to hear this man speak. One more time, do it a little bit better. How about it for Russell Pearce? They want a handshake with us.
Yeah, she likes that handshake stuff.
Thank you, Russell. 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 Thank you, Russell.
Okay, I want to tell you a very funny story. I know a lot of you are going to be heading out here in a moment, and I've got somebody that wants to say something very quickly, but Senator Pearce.
Mentioned Carl Shield did not get a chance to speak. My good friend who's been with me every inch of the... I just want you to know, I know there's a lot of people spoke here today. A lot of folks didn't get to speak. I just want to at least mention Carl Shield, Representative Carl Shield, who's been with me, vigilant every step of the way on every single issue.
Represents me in LD6. Senator Pearce was talking about the law enforcement that supports this bill. The Phoenix Law Enforcement Association is going to be in D.C. this week meeting with Eric Holder. They have a meeting with Eric Holder. You want to hear a funny story? In order for them to meet with Eric Holder, these are sworn law enforcement officers, and I know Senator Pearce can back me up on this. In order for them to meet with Eric Holder, they had to provide their date of birth, their full name, their social security card, and their proof of citizenship. These are sworn police officers going to argue this with Eric Holder. They had to prove they were citizens. I thought you'd want to hear that before we headed out. Now.